Because when you listen to most people talk about taxes, it is a serious fest.
I was about to say, I'm excited to see how you make it fun.
And so what I'd like to do is kind of kick off a little bit on this podcast. We're not going to cover everything. So I looked up earlier today, the IRS tax code is 10,000 pages. And if you put all the regulations in there, it's over 70.
I have memory in my computer to get this long.
So we're going to start reading that from page one. I'm just kidding. So one of the big things about taxes, it's really not something you should hate to have to do. The only thing that you kind of hate is the uncertainty of are you going to owe or get a refund, right? Mm-hmm. And so the number one thing to make it less painful is to be organized. If you're just organized, at the end of the year, if that all these statements come through in December and January, if you'll just file them in a folder, you just kind of know what, from experience, what's going to be taxed and what's not part of your tax return. Just kind of organize everything, because if you're paying to get your taxes done by an accountant or a tax preparer, if they have to start digging through shoe boxes and, well, I think it's this, I may have contributed here, I may have spent this. I mean, it's going to cost a lot of money to get your taxes done. So if you want to save money, the number one tip is be organized. If you're taking your stuff into a tax preparer to get done or an accountant to get done, even if you're going to do it yourself, it's great to be organized because it doesn't take you long. Mm-hmm. So organization is first. The next thing, and probably the biggest thing in the news right now, just trying to keep this thing current, was all these tax things around the One Big Beautiful Bill. And I kept thinking, is that what it was called? And it was actually called the One Big Beautiful Bill. Mm-hmm. And it was the tax package that was passed, in the dead of night here back in 2025, about midway through. So how did that impact me? Because I'm hearing all this stuff, all these speeches, no tax on Social Security, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, my car interest, the big car I bought with paying all that interest, do I have to pay tax on that? I'm hearing that. I'm hearing about Trump accounts for kids. What is all this stuff?
I have no idea.
And you have no idea. And so, and I did, and so it took a while to learn a little bit about some of it. So we're going to talk about just a few of those today, and maybe the rest of them on a future podcast, because we don't want to throw too much information on everybody at one time.
Because all I'm
going to do is give you a quick overview. What is it? Does it impact me, and how much? Mm-hmm. And that's really all people really want to know. So kind of jumping into that, people know that I kind of have an interest in taxes, and so I get the old people coming up to me and saying, I heard I don't have to pay tax on Social Security. Is that true?
Yeah, really?
And I said, not exactly. So you hear the right talk about no tax on Social Security, the left talking about, oh, this is only tax breaks for the rich. And so, where does the truth lie? And it really lies, like most stuff does, somewhere in the middle of the political spectrum. So, what is it, though, tax on Social Security? Do I really not pay any tax on it? No, that's not exactly true. So it has nothing to do with Social Security, actually.
That totally makes sense.
in the political process, it has nothing to do directly with Social Security. I don't even think Social Security is in the bill. Not the word Social Security is in the bill. It's only in the stump speeches.
Okay, so to get votes.
It's to get votes. And so who gets it? Okay, so who gets this no tax on Social Security? So what it is it's a benefit for anybody that's 65 years or older in 2025. What you get is, if let's just take a married couple, both of them are over 65, mm-hmm. They each get to add $6,000 of deductions. They get to take that off of their taxable income, and so that'd be $12,000 as a couple. So a couple makes $100,000. They get to take $12,000 off of that taxable income and pay taxes on less than that. Mm-hmm. If you're single, it's $6,000. So if just one of you are over 65, it's only $6,000. If both of you are over 65, it's $12,000. If you're just a single, it's only $6,000. Mm-hmm. That's on top of the current retirement deduction, which is currently $1,600 a person. So if both people are over 65, not only do they get the $12,000, but they also get $3,200 just for being over 65. And that's in addition to just their standard deduction, which is $31,500. And so in total, two seniors over 65 can take $47,000 off of their income, their taxable income, and pay no tax on that amount of money. Now, nowhere in there was Social Security mentioned, but Social Security is part of your overall taxable income.
Yeah.
At least a portion of it is. Usually about 85% of it is. And so, but this deduction happens whether you're on Social Security or not. If you're just over 65, you get that.
Take advantage of it.
Of course, with everything, now let's disprove, now that we've disproved the fact that it's not necessarily no tax on Social Security, this demyth the other part that it's only for the rich, because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
With all of these deductions that we hear about, there are income limits. So if you're single and have less than $75,000 of income, or if you're married and have less than $150,000 of income, you don't get any of those.
You don't take advantage of it.
So it's not for the millionaires and billionaires, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's for just anybody making less than 75,000 if you're single, or less than 150,000 as a married couple.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's who gets it. There are phase out periods after that, but we won't go into all that. But and this provision is only for tax years 2025 and 2028, and then it goes away unless Congress extends it. So that's all it is. And so it's something to talk to your tax preparer about. Make sure we get the senior deduction, and it comes up in all the software. All the tax software has it in there, so there's nothing you have to really watch too much for. But it's good to know about. If you make 500,000 a year, forget it. You don't get any of it. If you make less than 150 as a married couple, you get it. So.
Well, and the goal here would be that we want everybody who's over 65 to have way more than that. Well, like I said, if
the goal is to make more than 150.
Yes.
But if you don't,
then you've got a benefit here.
And so what you're going to find with all of these notes, that all of these issues that came up in the one big beautiful bill, is that none of them are for the rich. They're all for kind of the average working person. So there are a lot of good benefits, and so that kind of takes to the next one, which is no tax on tips. This affects.
I have no idea. There's only
65 different jobs and 8 industries, whatever. But if you're in a tip profession, so you're a hairdresser, you work in the food service industry, you're an Uber driver, whatever. If you're in an industry where you make money on tips, this one's for you.
Should we put a tip jar right here?
Put a tip jar right here. Yeah. Well, we can Venmos. They can Venmos.
I don't need it. We could do like a QR code.
Yeah.
And then we could just start it. And we can start taking advantage of this.
I agree. So if you make too much money, I don't know about that.
Is there a cap on this?
There is. Yeah. So all you get on this, it limits $25,000, and so your first $25,000 of tips you pay no income tax on. However, like with the other ones, not for the rich. The income limits there are if you make more than 150,000 as a single, or more than 300,000 as a married couple.
Man,
you don't get the deduction.
That's pretty woo.
But that'd be a good waiting job if you made more than 300,000.
Well, even if you make under that, if you got someone that's like pushing up in that, and you're still getting you got a tip job.
Tip job.
Does that include commissions?
No, it's just
like
tips. Commissions are part of your normal income, but this is when you get your haircut and you give your barber, $10 on the side.
He's making some money.
They're making some money. And so, but it's only for 150 or less if you're single, or under 300 on married couples. So it's, it's not for the mega rich, but it's for people it's for most people in America, to be honest with you. And
for those TikTok.
It's for all the TikTok. Yeah. I mean, all the social media stuff. So, the problem with it's going to be tracking all that stuff. And the problem with all of this is in 2025, it came in so late, a lot of the employers don't really capture it for you. And so you may hopefully you've kept track of the tips over the years. If not, you got to go.
Yeah, because it's so easy to just put it in your pocket.
Yeah. Those are cash tips. So that's not legal. So. I can't give illegal advice here.
Is that
legal advice?
So, this is where I show my ignorance. So literally, if someone, well, no, I don't. It's been a long time since I've worked in a restaurant. You don't get the cash; it has to go to the employer. They give you the tip.
So there's different ways. If it goes to the employer, then the employer pays that as part of your paycheck, and so you get, and it'll be on your paycheck stuff. So if you're 2025, they may not tell you that at the end of the year on your W-2 that you get, and so you may have to go back and add all that stuff up manually to figure out how to get it.
Holy pain in
the cash stuff. You're supposed to legally also report that.
Report it.
Yeah. Wink, wink. But you're supposed to legally report all of that.
How many of you are out there reporting your cash?
You didn't hear that here, so I've never been in the tip industry. So, well, that was one time when I was 16. I was a sacker at a grocery store, and I'd go out, take little ladies' groceries out, and they'd give me like 25 cents or 50 cents tips. So I just put that in my pocket. I was only 16. It was 50 years ago, so I don't think I'm in.
I want to know how many of you are working in the tip industry. It's probably going to take probably a few months for us to get some of those. But if you go back and watch this, I want to know who you are.
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
I don't know that I've met anybody who's going to send it to me.
Anyway, it's something to let your tax preparer know that know about it, and they can describe all the other interests.
Well, this is a good one.
No tax on overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's a lot of people that get paid overtime, and this one's actually a little bit better reported by the employers. I've only seen one W-2 this tax season so far, but they had all the overtime, split out and all that. But yeah, there's no income tax for overtime for 2025 through 2028.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's a limit to that. So you only get $12,500 if you're single, or $25,000 if you're a joint filer. Mm-hmm. So if you're a married couple, you're both work overtime, you only get $25,000 of free overtime where you don't have to pay any income tax on. Mm-hmm. That one, the employers, for 2026 for sure, maybe for 2025, a lot of the bigger employers probably have that broken out in your W-2, which is that statement you get that you have to have for your tax return that shows your income. So what are the limits on that? The limits on that, the income limits on that, or if you're single, you can't make more than $150,000. If you're married, you can't make more than $300,000. If you make more than those limits, you have to pay income tax on your overtime. But if you're under that, you get $12,500 if you're single, or $25,000 if you're a married couple, of no tax on overtime. And so at this point, it's like, if anybody's still with us and awake, that's all I'm going to talk about today. We're going to cover all those other fun topics in a future podcast.
Is it going to?
It's going to be as much fun too.
I don't know if I can handle more than that.
Hey, hopefully I made it fun, because I can tell you, if you're a person out there that gets tips or has overtime, if you're over 65,
you're the best friend.
You got your notepad out, you're taking notes.
That's what I say. I don't know how many people are tip.
Exactly. Hey, I'm over 65. I'm like looking at that senior deduction, thinking, okay, that
applies.
That be sweet. Yeah,
and the overtime piece for all of us shift workers, plant workers, and stuff like that. Yeah. All those working overtime.
Any hourly employees, nurses, all kinds of stuff. So I mean, it's anybody that's not a salaried employee that they're an hourly worker. I mean, that's huge.
That counts.
And the tip stuff is huge, especially. I mean, this thing kind of was born from Las Vegas when the politicians went out to Las Vegas. The Las Vegas is just built on the tip industry.
Yeah, really.
And that's where the whole idea was born for this no tax on tips. I think it was a political speech by one of our candidates, and so yeah, it was huge. And so all this stuff is very impactful, and it's there'll be great tax breaks for a lot of people, I think, and there's a lot of benefit to it. I just want to bring it up today, because it's timely. People are just now getting W-2s and just now starting their taxes. And I want to make sure you understand these deductions. Depending on how you get your taxes prepared. If you do it yourself, you may not have known how this impacted you. And so, if you have a tax preparer, hopefully they do. But it's great news for taxpayers. And so I think you're hearing the news that people are happy. There's going to be a lot bigger refunds this year than last year. A lot bigger vacation funds. For a lot of people, Christmas comes in April. So when they get that refund back.
So true. Book those cruises.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I say.
So the basic thing is, like, now it's happening. Go to your CPA and say, show me the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
I heard this gray-haired guy on YouTube tell me about all these breaks and all this tax.
Overtime, or over 65, show me the money.
I want to have some fun.
They said taxes are fun.
Yeah. And hopefully you see people come back and say, well, they are fun, but you owe $2,000. No, that's not fun. That's not fun. Nobody wants to owe money at the end of the year, but yeah, so everybody's different. So, but anyway, hopefully this was somewhat insightful, and you maybe picked up a nugget or two from that, and it may or may not impact you. In the future podcast, we'll talk about a couple other tax breaks that are kind of out there on the horizon, and we'll just bring up that. But those are the three big ones. You keep hearing those on the news. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. And so there's some truth to that, but of course, like anything, they're not 100% true unless you may blow those income limits. So
Yeah. Cool. All right. Hey, we're gonna switch gears here.
Yeah.
Get some fitness going.
Yeah.
I
think
do some push-ups and some bodyweight squats. Maybe do some burpees.
I'm so sore from working out this morning. I don't know if I can.
Was Julio with you this morning?
No, he wasn't with me this morning. If Julio's out there, shout out, man. I was able to
look at us. We're gonna have you in there. All right, so we're back again here shortly. We'll have our next round, and we'll see you guys very soon. Thanks, David.
Yeah,
good job,
man.
All right.
And just stay with it, man. Get those taxes done on time by April 15th.
Okay. All right, we'll do. All right, see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.